Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Business for the Soul. Welcome back for May. Just very quickly before we start with the webinar, I know they're quite a crowd that enrolled for today. Maybe you can't get on because of load shedding. I hope there isn't a problem with the link. Everyone else seems to be okay. But if you're only able to watch this later, it's fine. The recording will always be available for you. I'm going to start because I do try and complete it in 30 minutes. And today could be quite a jam-packed session. So welcome again to Business for the Soul. If you haven't attended before, we have this at least once a month, sometimes twice if I can afford the time. So what are we doing today? Round and round we go. I heard quite a lot of people responded and said they were very interested in the topic. And I always do things that are very real and practical and maybe what I'm experiencing or my clients or other people are experiencing. Okay, so round and round we go. What is it all about? So what is this all about? It's about recurring themes in your life and business. Okay, recurring themes in your life and business. And we are going to do a little bit of interaction for yourself. It's going to be a self-coaching tool for you today. So please make sure you've got pen and paper available. Okay, recurring themes in your life and business. So what's very handy, here's a nice coaching tip. When you're trying to get to the crux of a matter, it's always good to actually look at the definition. What are you really talking about? Because words can help you find your own solution. So we're going to look at the definitions of all of these three words: recurring, theme, and effect. Okay, recurring themes in your life and what is the effect? So recurring, what does that mean? It means a pattern that appears or happens over and over again, repeatedly, because there's also a word reoccurring. So that it happens reoccurring means it happens again, but not repeatedly. Recurring, it happens over and over again. Okay. Theme is the main idea or underlying message of the topic, of the talk, of a coaching happening, of trauma, anything like that. What is the main or underlying message? Or also just movies. You know, I love movies. So if you go to a movie, what is the main theme? What is the underlying message, morale, or story of that movie? And then effect is the way you're influenced emotionally by what is happening. Okay, effect, the way you're influenced emotionally by what is happening. So let's delve a bit deeper. Now, let's always remember with everything we do, it's like everything has two sides to a coin. So recurring themes can be positive or negative. They can have benefits or drawbacks. And we're going to look at the recurring themes in your life and business. Okay, generally when I do webinars like this, I will look at both, but we're focusing more on the negative because if it's positive, that means it's working in your life and just keep on doing more of the same. But it's the stuff that's not working in your life or business that we actually want to put attention to. And also for all the newcomers to the series, I focus on both the inner and the outer workings of business. So the inner, the personal stuff, and the outer, the actual strategy and workings of business. So let's look at some examples of what I mean by recurring themes, because your mind might now be thinking, so I wonder, what does it actually mean, or what are some examples, or what are the recurring themes in my life and business? So we're going to look at two examples, and then we're going to do your own example together. Okay. So let's look at a positive. We always start with the positive first, a positive recurring theme. So recurring, what is something that happens consistently in your life that has positive outcomes? Okay. For example, you never give up. Okay, you're kind of person that just never gives up. What is the theme of that? The theme is perseverance. So you're a very persevering person. And what is the effect of that recurring theme? When you never give up, generally you have a high self-belief, self-confidence, and high level of resilience. Of course, a lot of other effects, but this is what I'm talking about, the positive effects of having a positive recurring theme. Okay, so maybe you're getting the idea now of what a positive or a recurring theme is. So let's look at the negative. So negative recurring theme, what is something that happens consistently or repeatedly over and over again that has negative outcomes? Now, the interesting thing is often we are aware of it and we don't want to do it, but we keep on doing it. And that's why we're doing this today. So example of a negative recurring theme, and I chose one which I think a lot of entrepreneurs tend to do. We put off things, okay? Put off the one-to-ones, put off the follow-up. That's what I've, put off. So what is the theme about putting off? The theme is procrastination. Procrastination. And what is the effect of procrastination? High levels, for me anyway, high levels of stress, missed opportunities, low or dwindling levels of self-confidence, low levels of self-trust and belief in yourself. Because each time you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, you don't believe in yourself anymore, because even though you're saying it, while you're saying it, you know that maybe it's not going to happen. Okay, so that's a negative recurring theme. So just before we move forward, I can't see everyone on the screen, but just put your hand up. Is everyone clear on what I mean by recurring theme? Great, good, okay. So let's get to business, part A. Has everyone got their piece of paper and a pen or pencil? We're going to do this step by step. For all the newcomers, I'm a very step-by-step person, and I want to make sure that you get it, okay? And also very relatable, personable, something that is happening in your life and your business right now. So let's do step by step. What is something that happens consistently in your life? Think about this now, that has positive outcomes. Just think about it. What is something that you do that has positive outcomes? And if you're not sure about it, think about what other people say about you. What is something that has positive outcomes in your life that you do on a regular basis over and over again? Okay, for example, maybe you wake up at 4:30 or 5 every morning, okay? So what is the theme about that? What is the theme of that thing that you do on a regular basis, the positive theme? Okay, and now what's important, it's now we're getting to the business. How does it positively affect your business in terms of productivity, growth, income, or expansion? So link that recurring theme to your business. Is it or how does it positively affect your business? Remember, I'm going to send you the link. If I'm going a bit fast, you can always go through this again. So also for the newcomers, I really like to do things that you can use, you can take home, you can take to the business, and you can apply it. Okay. Can I carry on? Yeah, I'm going to look at the people that I can see. I'm going to look at the nod of the head and then I'll carry on. Great. So let's get to business part B, the not so nice part. Okay, it's nice when it's all going great. Okay, it's nice to know our strengths and the things that we're doing well at. But now let's look at the negative. So, what is something that happens consistently in your life that has negative outcomes? What do you do repeatedly that has negative outcomes and you don't want those negative outcomes, but you keep on doing it? There's something in your life. So maybe let's use the same example. It could be you want to wake up at 5 every morning, but you end up waking up at 7, 8, 9, 10 in the morning. So the theme there is about punctuality or, not valuing time properly. So what is the theme about that negative thing that you've just highlighted or written down? What is the theme? What is the underlying message about that? Maybe it's a value, maybe it's a belief system, maybe, that will give you a bit of a clue there. So maybe, for example, let's stick with the time. you really want to, because everyone's saying, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, we've got to wake up early. Time is our biggest asset, but you still don't. So what is the theme? Maybe you don't really value time, or maybe you value sleep more. Maybe you value sleep more. Okay. Then the effect. Now, this is huge, everyone, please, because why we're doing this is to help you change something in your business today. And I'm sure that's why you're here. So what effect is this negative recurring theme having on your business? Let's get real, okay? What is it costing the business in terms of productivity, growth, income, or expansion? Because negative themes that show up in your life on a repeated basis are costing you in some way. And I think it really becomes relevant when we can connect it to our business and see that it's actually costing the business. It's now not just a pattern that, you're trying to get over. It's actually costing the business. And how much is it costing the business? This scares the heebie-jeebies out of me to actually get it right, to correct it. Okay, we're doing good on that. How are we doing, Dr. Cesar? Good? Trish? Okay. So you've got your answer, and you can do that with any theme that shows up in your life. But what's important, the outcome of this, it's highly probable, I would say almost 100%, that your personal recurring theme will show up in your business too. Why? You are the common factor between your personal life and your business life. If you're a certain way in your personal life, I don't think it's very easy to now go be completely different in your business life. You're the same person. You are the common factor. And so it's likely that recurring themes in your personal life will also show up in your business. It's great if it's personal themes, but what if it's a negative one? Okay? So your personal habits, behaviors, belief systems, values, patterns influences how you show up in your business. This is powerful, because if we want to change something in our business, if we want to change the entrepreneur that we are, we actually have to go back to our values, our belief systems, our patterns, our triggers, our saboteurs, all of those things. We have to look inside at ourselves, change those, and I promise you everything else will change. And those things that are holding you back will determine how successful or not you will be, depending on whether it is a negative or positive recurring theme. Okay, so that's really powerful. So depending on what that recurring theme is it positive or negative, it will continue to have positive or negative effects on your business. So round and round we go. Unless we recognize the negative recurring patterns in our lives and how they affect our business, we will not make significant progress. Okay, the patterns will continue to go round and round and round. Okay, they'll just continue to go round and round and round. It will feel like, have you ever felt this feeling? Like you really want to move forward. Of course, we all want to. The intention is to grow. But it's like you're taking one step forward. You just feel, wow, I'm moving forward. And then all of a sudden, it's 2 steps back. And you wonder why that's happening. The chances are you must probably be doing the same thing over and over again, but you don't even realize it, because sometimes it looks different. You think you're taking a different stance, but it's just more of the same inner stuff. The inner, the trigger, the pattern, the behavior, the habit. It might, on paper, it might look different, but the inside of it is still the same. So 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Has anyone experienced that with anything in their lives? I'm sure, right? So the solution to move forward, what is the solution? Four easy steps. First, recognize, remember we're focusing on the negative now, so that so that we can work on something for your business. Recognize what is not working in your business. So today, even after the session, write down what is the one thing that is not working in your business that you are irritated by and that you really, really want to change. It's like enough is enough already. Identify and name the recurring theme. Okay, so sometimes we think we know what it is, but it's in our heads and we kind of think, well, it's got something to do with time. Identify it and name it. Because once you've identified this pattern, you can work towards changing it. We can't change something if we don't know what it is. We have to identify it first. And then once you've done that, that will lead to positive shifts in both your personal and your business life. So identify it, name it, decide to change it. Okay, and then you start working towards that. And then you'll start seeing the positive shifts in your life and in your business. So what's really important is stop the merry-go-round by identifying your recurring patterns. Okay, it's actually not, we always think these things have got big, huge, massive solutions and are going to be really, really difficult, but they're actually not. It's the small things. It's the small things that count. So your number one job today, if there is something that's showing up in your business all the time that is it's not something that you want and you can't understand why it keeps on happening, identify what it is. Identify what it is. Does that make sense, everyone? Does that make sense? And I am going to give you time I'm looking at the time to give some feedback. Now, remember, especially for all the newcomers, this is just 30 minutes, okay? So this is the beginnings of a topic, but everything I've given you here today, you can actually work on, and I'm going to give you something extra as well. So your number one job today, even if it's 5 minutes, make sure that you identify that recurring pattern that you're not happy with. Okay, so that you can start shifting it. Because when you know what it is, you can put a plan in action to actually shift it around. Okay, so before we get to some Q&A, I've got an ebook on limiting beliefs. Now, one of the things that can really help you identify the recurring pattern or why it keeps on happening is to know what the limiting belief is. So if you're interested, in the copy of chapter 5 is how to recognize your limiting beliefs. If you would like that, I'm very, very happy to send it to you. Just WhatsApp me. I don't want to send you stuff that you don't want. I know that our inboxes get inundated with stuff. And also to link this, the inner entrepreneur with the outside world, with the outside business, just to let you know, but I'll also put this in an email. I have a 1-year You Are the Goal program, which deals with all of these things that we're talking about now. And also very quickly for all the newcomers, I'll also have a networking session completely just for business, the last Thursday of the month, okay, Thursday the 25th, 2 to 3 p.m. And it's really geared towards getting leads and getting referrals. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share there. And then I'm going to open it up for questions, Q&A. We've got about 6 minutes, statements, feedback, how you're feeling, does it make sense? Has it touched on something that's maybe a bit of a sore point? Or maybe everything's hunky-dory in your business right now. Maybe it's opened up a window that you haven't thought about.
I say that it's been so helpful what you said, because I've suddenly realized, like while you were talking, things that I do reoccurringly that is not working for me, that I've never actually thought about, and just making me think about it. I'm now starting to think, oh, that's where I'm going wrong. So thank you.
Oh, that's wonderful, Bridget. Thanks for that. And you know what, I don't want to put the knife in and twist it, but sometimes we need that knife and twist it. We have to feel the pain if we really want to change it. Really, really, that thing that you've now identified, there's probably a couple of them, okay? But the main one, just really link it back to your business, connect the dots, and how much is it costing you? How much is it costing you in time, money, and effort, in growth, expansion, stress, okay? Stress, overwhelm, how much is it actually costing you? Because once we know how much it's costing us, there's more of an impetus to want to change it. Otherwise, we just let it carry on and carry on, okay? So we got to feel the pain. How much is it costing me? And I know we can't afford for these things to cost our business, not in this day and age. Okay, thank you so much, Bridget. Anyone else?
Kim,
Yes.
what I was thinking was it was something linked to what we were talking about just now, that when you work alone, often when you work alone for so long, you actually don't realize that there are aspects in your business that are not working. You just think, well, if it's me, I just think it's an issue that I need to overcome.
Yeah.
And so you don't actually realize there are, what you have just said, you don't realize that you've got these little things that are not working because you just push on when you're alone. If haven't got anyone in your office to chat to them about, you know. So
yes, there's nothing to compare to, you know. Someone else is like, oh really, like, gee whiz, you spend 3 hours, that's a waste of time. You don't have that kind of thing. So that's why it's so important to have these kinds of things and network and hear these things. Fantastic, Michelle. Dr. Cesar?
Okay, I'll just put my hand down first. Thank you, Michelle, for bringing that up, because I wanted to bring up the converse to that of not working alone, but working with people. And I've had this discussion with Kim many, many times, where she always has told me, look at you, what you are doing, and stop pointing fingers at other people. Because my business is a people business, and it is so tempting to say it's because those people are not doing what I expect them to be doing. And I mean, I don't know how to go about it. It's one of the recurring themes, if you want to know.
Okay.
Because it is a people business. It is so tempting to blame other people for not coming to the party, as it were, not playing ball.
Yes.
So how do I overcome
So Dr. Cesar, I absolutely love this. And thanks for being so honest and vulnerable, actually. So this is a recurring theme. And as you said, you brought it up with me before. The one thing that I would say is, it's obviously you're bringing it up because it's not serving you, it's not serving your business, and you want to change it, right? So the first step is, first of all, awareness. Whenever it happens, stop. Remember this conversation. Stop and say, there we go again. It's the same old behavior. Okay? Now, why we want to point, generally we blame and we play the victim role because of fear. You know, we want something to happen and it's not happening, so we're fearful, and then we blame other circumstances or conditions or people. So ask yourself, when you stop, to say, so what am I not doing, or what am I doing that can change the situation? Maybe it's also got to do with expectations. Are your expectations of others the same as your expectations of yourself? Okay, so that's a good one. And are the expectations realistic or unrealistic? I have a feeling it's got something to do with expectations. It's what you want to happen, but remember, what we want to happen doesn't mean others want that for themselves. So even when we can see that if this person took coaching, it would actually shift their business tenfold in a couple of weeks, couple of months. But if they don't want it, they don't want it. Okay. It's all about timing as well. And sometimes we've got to knock our head against a brick wall like too many times before we realize, well, maybe I do need coaching, or maybe I do need a doctor, maybe I do need wellness products. Okay, so what we can see that other people need is not necessarily what they want, And if they don't want it, it doesn't matter what you do, they're not going to go for it. Okay, so Dr. says your first step for everyone, whenever they recur, stop. Don't just keep on going. Stop, ask yourself what's happening. What can I change in me to change the situation outside of me? Does it help, Dr. Cesar?
Yes, it does, until the bucket runs dry, until I run out of ideas of what to change. Yeah, but it does help. Thank you.
And Dr. says on that note, and for everyone, and I'm going to end now, maybe one more question. It doesn't mean these things are easy. Dr. says that this inner work, especially this, is the tough work. It's the tough work, okay? But if we can get this done, everything else is easy. Everything else is easy. So just about, you know, and it doesn't mean that people around us are not coming to the party. You know, they can also maybe be to blame, let's say. But we can't control that. The only person you can control is yourself. And remember, we can control how we think about things. So maybe start thinking about certain things differently. That might also help. Okay. One more question or statement or input. Trish. Sorry, I do see your hand there. Thanks, Trish.
You could also turn it around, and so what we're looking at is, what do I do repeatedly that has negative outcomes? But you could also think, what am I not doing repeatedly that results in negative outcomes? Because that's like frustration. I should be doing this, but I'm not. And you just keep not doing it. So you get negative outcomes as well.
Yes. 100%, Trish. Thanks for bringing that up. You know, 100%. And another thing as well is, let's say you get frustrated with your clients or with potential leads, and they keep on giving you feedback of the same thing. Then you've got to stop and think to yourself, why do I keep on getting the same kind of feedback from clients? What is it that I'm doing or not doing that's causing that feedback? Because it's most probably something we're doing. Maybe the message isn't right. Maybe we're contacting them too little or too much, or whatever it may be. Okay, if we're not getting the response we want from the marketplace, what is it that we're doing or not doing? This has helped me a lot as well. Okay. So everyone, thanks for that. Just so that you know, especially for the newcomers, I will be hi Linda, nice to see you there. I will send you an email with an attendance list of everyone that enrolled. Why do I do that? Because as a whole life business coach, this is also about business and networking. I always try and make it about networking opportunities. Go through the list, see if there's 1, 2, or 3 people you can connect with. Okay, email them, WhatsApp, message, and have a one-to-one online or offline. Okay, and also in the email, I will send you some other information of opportunities that are coming up. There's an expo, business expo coming up on the 2nd of June for people here in KZN that you might want to join. So thank you very much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that today, and I hope it was helpful. And I will see you next time.
Thank you, Kim. That was lovely.